Hi everyone! For the sake of the internet, my name is Athena. This is going to be my first pick a card reading ever. This is intended to be a general collective reading for those who feel drawn, those of you who are interested, those of you looking for guidance. And we've got 3 different piles here that you can also specifically feel drawn to give you perhaps deeper insight into your specific situation right now. However, it still is a general reading, so take everything with a grain of salt. Take what resonates and discard what doesn't. There are no rules for this. You can pick one pile, you can pick multiple piles, you can pick all the piles. The point is just to, connect to your intuition, feel which pile or however many piles you feel drawn to, and then go with that. The general energies are literally affecting all of us right now in different ways, individually of course, but there are greater themes going on right now, so I don't think you can really pick the wrong pile. It is going to potentially, hopefully, resonate in one way or another with you, so just don't worry about it. That's the key with picking a pile, I think. As far as some general messages that I feel came up already as I was shuffling and looking at the bottom of the deck and everything, Pluto is still in retrograde right now, and this means that we're doing a lot of internal work, a lot of shadow work, a lot of also shedding of family trauma, family wounds, really deep-seated old triggers. This is a lot of like traditionally Scorpio, Pluto, 8th house kind of stuff. So there's a lot of that going on as well because the universe is preparing us for a new beginning. There is fresh wind coming in. However, it seems that we are in a waiting period at this time. Some things are unclear to us at this moment, but the answers will be coming. The key as well right now for us, I think, is to see the opportunities that are in our immediate environment right now. We are doing a lot of past work, so it's very easy to get caught up in the past and then to also project our past issues and traumas onto the future and then worry about the future, and then we aren't living in the now anymore. So I think key to our situation right now as well is to just take a breather, reconnect to our now, reconnect to our intuition as well. That's also a big theme. We're really kind of feeling into our situation, trying to connect to our higher selves and what Spirit wants us to say, and we are being led towards our life purpose. Yeah, so without further ado, I'd really like to get started. We've got piles 1, 2, and 3. So if you need more time to pick a pile, feel free to pause the video, and if not, then I'm just going to go right ahead with pile 1. So let's get rid of these other guys for now. All right, so let's have a look at what's going on. Gemini, okay. Wait, let's make sure that's still in the shot. Building blocks, okay, career. Okay, these cards are going to be in German, but I will translate for you. This is remain open-minded or be open-minded. Got the current frequency of right now, which is transcendence. Interesting. 3 of Wands and Page of Wands. Okay, let me just take a minute to soak in all the cards at once. Yeah, the thing that I'm seeing here right in the beginning is just, again, speaking to those themes that I was addressing in the intro of this video of we're in a waiting period right now. The 3 of Wands talks about waiting for your ships to come in, being in a period where you've invested a lot into a certain project or perhaps a relationship, or it could be anything, and you're waiting for the fruits of your labor to start coming in. This guy is just sitting on the hilltop, and this is a card that is it describes a period after action has already been taken. We've already been taking action in a lot of directions in our life. We've been building things. We've got the building blocks card here as well, which pertains to career and manifesting things and, yeah, investing that time and effort into a project as well. We've got 2 and 8, which adds up to 10. Which relates to the 10th house in astrology, which is our house of career. So this all starts to tie in together already. 3 is also a number of manifestation, of creation, of expression. It connects to the Gemini card here. Gemini is all about communication and expression and learning as well. So, yeah, we're definitely working towards something in this pile. We're waiting a bit. We are, I think, transcending our own experience as we have understood it up until now. I'm kind of just going off my intuitive understanding of these cards right now. There is a guidebook to these, but I'm just kind of, I don't know them all by heart yet, so I'm just kind of going intuitively with what I understand from the word and the picture here. So yeah, it just seems like we're trying to transcend our experience as it has been up until now, particularly with this card here about remain open-minded. This could be pertaining to love. These are the love oracle cards. However, I'm taking this to mean just in general. This is tying into a general message here. So remain open-minded to what your life could look like, right? We're learning to be flexible here. Gemini is also a very curious sign. It's quite open-minded. It likes to exchange with other people. It's very, very talkative, very it thrives on communicating with other people and hearing what they have to say and sharing what they have to say and just having that exchange in a conversation and a type of partnership here. So, and since I did say partnership, some of you might be in a partnership, you might be waiting on someone, you might be building, trying to build something with someone, manifest something with someone. Yeah, and the call here is to also remain open-minded in that situation. Don't project your past onto the situation. Don't, have certain set ideas of who this person is or where this relationship is supposed to go. Just remain open-minded. We also have the Page of Wands here, which also pertains to messages. The pages bring messages. Particularly this page is very happy. The Wands suit correlates to fire energy, and fire is very expressive. So we could be dealing with an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius here, or it could just be the Gemini-Sagittarius axis, because Sagittarius is the opposite sign to Gemini, which is all about learning and expanding our worldview. And that ties again in so nicely, I think, with this Transcendent card and remain open-minded. Messages could be coming in about a project here. Like I said, we're in a waiting period, or you may be in a waiting period, but there is news coming in at some point here. This is also perhaps a new relationship. Hi again, Pile 1. I'm sorry that the video cut off. I'm going to try to repeat what I said. It was pretty much more of the same, but I got cut off while I was talking about a potential new relationship here. And what I'm kind of getting with this is that you are also supposed to be open-minded about this person, who they are, and what this relationship could bring. Because of the building blocks here and the Three of Wands and Transcendent and everything, I feel like this person could relate to work somehow. And the romantic aspect of the relationship may or may not play a role in this. But yeah, I think you should also transcend whatever romantic and emotional pull you might feel towards this person, perhaps, at least to a certain extent, because if you don't, if you get too caught up in simply the romance, it may limit you it might limit you from experiencing other aspects of this relationship, which are equally beneficial and awesome. So I'm just adding that because I've seen that a bit in personal readings as well. But yeah, either way, this seems like a person who has a lot of energy, is really optimistic, has a youthful spirit, is very curious and quick-witted and funny and charismatic, and you are just really going to enjoy talking to this person, or if you know this person already, then that might resonate with you. But yeah, either way, if this is a new person coming in, then they are definitely also going to help in this transcendent process of trying to widen your mind and your perception of life and just your scope of reality. Yeah, the other thing I said is to keep it light. Gemini and the Page of Wands, like I was saying, is very youthful and bright and happy energy. And when we're working towards a goal, we can often get so serious and so caught up in what the plan is, and we've got the structure, and we're going to take one foot in front of the other, and we're going to do it exactly like this. But I was focusing on the sort of the cubes that are just floating around, and I feel like a message here is to break it up a bit. You know, play with it. Allow things to float around in the air for a while. If you might not know exactly how some of the pieces are fitting together. You've reached it up until this point. You've worked really hard and you've put all the pieces together and you're like, okay, this is my plan. But it's okay to sometimes take a step back from the architecture as you understand it and be open-minded about where the structure could go, where it is that your plans and your life could go and how your life purpose fits into that. So yeah, I just feel like the main message of this pile is to transcend our current worldview here. So I hope that resonated on some level. I really wish you all the best in your journey and your spiritual development. You know, keep it light, keep it playful. Life is a game, in essence, as we're learning. So yeah, all the best, and moving on to pile number 2. All right, pile number 2. Hi. We've got Cancer, I feel, fork in the road, children, current frequency is security, which ties in very, very directly to Cancer, as does children. 6 of Cups, oh, and yeah, actually pile 2, you got 2 of these cards. We've got Judgment as well, and the Fool. Okay, wait, I hope you can see that. Maybe I'm going to switch this around here because there's a bit more room here. There we go. Great. All right. This is a very sweet pile. My first impression of this pile is just family. This is a pile that is relating to family. Cancer is very much an archetype of the mother and with children, of nurturing, of feeling into another person and empathically connecting to what it is that another person needs. Cancer also, yeah, is related to the home for that reason, and then security, mostly emotional security as well, but it all ties together, of course. And yeah, fork in the road is about being at a crossroads, making a decision, or having to make a decision here. And the Fool is about kind of, yeah, trusting in the universe, taking one step in front of the other, even though you don't know where this is going necessarily. And just, this is a really light energy. This is the absolute first card in the tarot of the major arcana. This is the absolute beginning of the journey. He's got 0 trauma. He is just full of enthusiasm and curiosity for life, and he's just going for it. Like, nothing's holding him back. He's literally like falling backwards going, oh, I'm just gonna, like, you know, let my joy and my lust for life and my spirit, I'm thinking of spirit with the sun here, pull me in a certain direction, and I have no idea where it's going. Which can feel very not secure for most of us. It can make us feel very insecure. Cancer in particular, because they're so sensitive, they're very protective of themselves and the people around them, and there's always this feeling of having to protect from outside threats, and that's kind of the opposite of what I'm feeling in this card here. Yeah, so let's just take a look at the other cards as well here. The 6 of Cups also pertains to children. The original Rider-Waite, oh, the original, there's like way older tarot decks than the Rider-Waite, but a very archetypal depiction of this energy is usually 2 children standing by a house, and the boy reaching down and giving a little girl a cup of flowers. Here we have a little bit of an alternative depiction here. It's a very sort of fantastical deck. She's kind of like a mermaid or something. They definitely look like they're underwater. They're just kind of like floating. So again, water, I'm connecting to the Cancer energy here of that, just that motherly feeling of security. We've got a little heart there, and we've got 2 little bunny mermaids, whatever the heck these things are. Which makes me think of a child's imagination, you know, is limitless. A child would imagine a bunny mermaid, right? An adult would be sitting there thinking, how on earth did you think of that? So yeah, this pile is definitely concerned with their inner child or actual children within their environment. Perhaps you're still very young, but I think most of the people viewing this message are going to be relatively older already. Yeah, there's just a strong maternal instinct that's coming out in this card. So I feel like with this one, especially with Judgment here, I'm going to get into that a little bit. This pile might really relate to what I said in the intro about releasing family trauma. Releasing family trauma. Something that you experienced as a child threatened your security, and it really inhibited this full energy within you of just taking a leap of faith and trusting that the universe, spirit, the divine, whatever, has your back and is supporting you. That, you know, gravity is a force of nature. However, we also have metaphysical forces at work that can direct us as well. And what we don't see in this card is perhaps a gust of wind or some surge of energy from the universe that's pushing this fool forward as well. Like he is riding this energetic wave of security from the universe, but he doesn't see it necessarily. But there seems to be a decision that needs to be made in this pile. Number one, we've got the Fork in the Road card, which I said is just, you know, pretty straight up about making decisions, right? We've got the signposts here going, okay, this way or that way. We've also got a strange looking monkey here. It looks like he's actually holding a fork. This whole thing is a fork, which is funny because it's called Fork in the Road. And he's also holding a fork. So the monkey to me is a very mischievous animal. He's also wearing a mask. It looks like a beak, or maybe it's just a weird fantastical creature. Either way, and we've got an owl here as well, so wisdom. We're trying to connect to our inner wisdom and decide which way to go. I'm not so sure about the imagery of llamas, but I feel like intuitively they are probably more on the nervous side and probably don't just, you know, that's also kind of countering this fool energy here. I feel like this is more the opposite. Where, again, the theme here is security. The theme is I want to be sure that this is the right decision for me, or like I'm going to think about this and I'm going to try to connect to my inner wisdom here. I'm going to connect to my intuition, connect to my guides, whatever, and try to gain as much information as I can and make an informed decision so I can feel as secure as possible in picking my direction. Yeah, but I was... No, the first pile was about being playful, but this one as well, like with the kids and everything, I feel like we just need to loosen up this serious energy a bit. If this is a monkey, it looks like a monkey to me who's kind of just fooling around, pretending to have a beak here. That's ridiculous. I feel like he's coming in and sort of stealing the show, going, like, hello, like, this isn't so difficult. There are lots of different directions you can choose, and yes, they will have different consequences, but maybe it's not as serious as a decision as you think. It's all well and good to internalize and connect to our inner wisdom for sure and try to pick the path that's most in alignment with us, but don't let your very strong need for security get in the way of whatever decision that you make, because any step that you make is a step into the unknown. Sorry, I hope you can still see the cards. Any step that you make is a step into the unknown. There's just certain things about our lives that we can't control, and we have to make our decisions, partially at least, based on faith. We just don't have all the information at all times. And that can be really difficult when, yeah, we want to really protect ourselves and we want to protect the people around us. Judgment is also about answering a call, particularly a call from the universe, coming into alignment with our true selves and our true purpose. I'm also looking at the heart here, which again makes me think of this sort of soft vulnerability of Cancer. It's also green, like this card is, that relates to the heart chakra and everything. So it's like this little vulnerable heart is like, I'm beating, I have an intuition, I have a direction, I have a joy, my inner child has a dream, it has a wish, it knows exactly where I want to go, listen to me. Yeah? On the other hand, we've got this funky bat being thing here, blowing the horn, you know, sounding the trumpet to get your attention. Your little battered, wounded, vulnerable heart here is kind of smiling down on this, responding to the call. That's what this Judgment card is about. It's going, okay, we know it's been difficult. You've been through a lot. You've had to actually go through a sort of death and rebirth process here, but it's time to rise up from the grave now. That's also what the Rider-Waite imagery is of this card. It's actually an angel with a trumpet, and there are various graves, and there's a woman, a child, and a man rising up from the grave. So, yeah, there's a definite new beginning, being called into alignment with your true purpose here, making a decision based on that. But then, like I said, also, that sounds really serious, right? It's like, oh, it's called judgment, and we have to make a decision. Like, we have to judge the situation, and based on that, we will then come into alignment with our purpose and everything, and be in true alignment. But I also think that part of the message is that there are several paths for you in this pile, perhaps, that are in alignment with you. There's not just the one road for you that is the absolute only direction for you. You know, I personally think it's a really complicated thing to explain sometimes, but I think that the universe does have an overarching plan, but we also have free will. And whenever we make a decision, the universe kind of recalibrates its plan and how things were going to play out based on the decision that we make. And so it all ends up flowing together. I don't know if that's true. That's just my personal theory. It's like I said, it's one of those paradoxes that we all try to figure out in life, and that's how I've tried to make sense of that for myself. So just shed some of the worry here, I think. I'm just thinking of Capricorn and worry here with this llama. I know it's not a goat, but it's a similar hoofed animal, and mothers can be overly worrisome sometimes because of that protective need. So, yeah, perhaps there is a child right now in your environment that needs your protection, but I feel like it's okay. I feel like justice will be served. This isn't the Justice card, but this is about integrity and things being in alignment. So I feel like even if things feel out of alignment right now, they will shift. And you can trust the universe to have your back here. Let me just see if there's anything else that's popping up, because I tend to repeat myself. I don't want to just ramble. I feel like there's something with the Six of Cups that we haven't really touched on, perhaps, except that it relates to children as well. I mean, the Six of Cups is about nostalgia and the past. So again, I talked about not projecting your past into your present and your future in the introduction. So it could also be time to rise up from being stuck in this state of nostalgia, which could potentially lead to a kind of grief and like a stagnation of staying stuck in the past because of the security card here. So if that resonates with you, it's time to move on. It's time to rise up from the grave, leave the past behind, you know, set out on the fool's journey, and yeah, become vulnerable as well, like a child. I know that it's so painful. It's so easy to just want to clam up and not ever talk to anyone ever again because things are so painful. But it's your childlike spirit, your youthful energy, your imagination, and your empathy for life and other people, other beings, and nature that makes life so worth living. So, yeah, don't let those things hold you back. Instead, reconnect to the strength that can be found within them. You are divinely protected at all times. you know? Even if it doesn't feel that way. I know it sounds like a platitude, and I've definitely had my moments where you couldn't tell me anything. It would just all be like, just shut up. So, but I hope that some of that resonated with you. It's okay to feel. Your feelings will help you make a decision here, whatever that is. And it will be in alignment with the call of the universe here. Or at least you are being called to become in alignment with that if you aren't already. This could also be a confirmation that you are on the right path, right? And that everything's going to be okay, even if you can't see it. This card is very dark here. So I feel like there's just certain things you can't see right now. Also the moon. The moon hides things from us. So anyway, like I said, I hope that resonated. I hope that was helpful in some way. And I'm going to move on to pile 3 now. Bye. Okay, last but definitely not least, we've got pile 3. Ooh, Black Moon Lilith. I love Lilith. By the book. Okay, this is Free Yourself in English. Frequency is uplift. Page of Swords and 4 of Wands. Interesting. Okay. There's some duality here going on, I think. This feels like a very... like there's a lot going on in this pile. Like, I feel like this pile is really, really close to having some kind of breakthrough. Again, like, I don't mean to... I'm not good at prediction, and I try to kind of stay away from predicting things, but that's just my first impression with this pile. Yeah, because Black Moon Lilith here, she's very scorpionic in nature as well, so I'm running with the Pluto-Scorpio themes that we were talking about in the introduction before. She's about, like, looking at our most rebellious shadow self here as well. She is the woman who did not submit to whatever authority was trying to put her in her place, basically. This is almost kind of Aquarian in nature. Aquarius is very nonconformist. It's very rebellious. Sometimes just simply on principle. So you might relate to some of that with this Black Moon Lilith card. She's also very powerful. Black Moon Lilith is like the depth of the female sexuality. Which there's so much power that lies there. I feel like this is a very powerful pile. This is kind of intense. But then there's some lighter and joyous energy here as well. But yeah, like I said, there's the duality here because we've got, this is dark and heavy shadow work energy. Like, let's look at the ways in which you rebel and you are, you know, the way that you can be manipulative or mean or anything. Like, those are all, you know, negative interpretations of Lilith. There are also positive sides to that as well. But she does very often represent the shadow. And with the Page of Swords here, this is about, the sword suit refers to mentality, our minds, and the Page of Swords is also a card that speaks of kind of rising up to the occasion, taking up the sword, and facing the challenge, right? There seems to be a challenge in this pile. Yep, and I think that the challenge is freeing yourself. And I think that the challenge is freeing yourself mostly from yourself, because again, we've got the shadow card here. Like, a message for this pile, I feel like, is the only thing holding yourself back is you. Which we don't like to hear, right? Because we're like, but I'm trapped in myself. Please don't tell me this. But yeah, we are learning a way out, and I feel like the way out for this pile is, we have this uplift frequency here. Yeah? Like, I feel like you are in the depths of something. You're in the depths of this shadow work. You're in this, you're encaged here. but you need to be uplifted out of this situation. The Four of Wands as well is a very positive, bubbly, victorious kind of energy. This is a celebration. This is about, again, like having worked towards something. I say again because this came up in previous piles as well. Having worked towards something and then really reaping the rewards of that and celebrating now. Like, this is a wedding, this is a party, this is a beautiful, harmonious get-together. It's also the number 4, which is a very stable number. Stability was also a theme in pile 2, if you felt drawn to that one. Yeah. Sorry, let me just take a look again. By the Book is a card that speaks of doing things by the book, basically, is that there's a set way of doing things. There are traditions that are being upheld, you know, and that's always an interesting dynamic because on the one hand, tradition does serve its purpose. There is a place for tradition. It's beautiful and it does bring that stability, this Four of Wands community feeling. I'm not 100% sure, but I do think elephants are very familial animals. They really stick together and take care of each other, I think, or at least that's the impression that I'm getting from this card. And yeah, so that is the positive side of a tradition, is that it provides a sense of stability. It provides a sense of this is who we are, this is who we've always been. And there's comfort in knowing who we are and who we belong to, because connecting to other people is one of the biggest human needs that we have. It's almost as important as breathing and eating, if not more. So I feel like this pile, there's lots of different things that I'm kind of picking up with this pile. I feel like this pile has been isolating themselves, maybe from their community, because of this shadow work. And I feel isolation because this unicorn is alone here, and it's also, entrapped, like I said. Like, I feel like you feel very misunderstood, especially with this Black Moon Lilith card. She was also misunderstood. She rebelled, right? No one understood why she didn't want to submit to a hierarchy that Adam wanted to place upon her. So she feels kind of like a unicorn. You might feel like isolated and alone just simply by nature, you know, because you feel so like there's no one that you can really relate to, and no one relates to you. And so you're really missing this community thing. On the one hand, you're rebelling, saying, well, I don't need it anyway. You know, I'd rather be alone than try to connect to people who don't understand me. It's too much there's too much effort involved. This is too much of a challenge. There's too many arguments and, like, getting hung up on details and not really understanding each other, and I'm just not into it. However, I feel like that script needs to be flipped a little bit. I feel like you need to come out of whatever self-imposed cage that you have put yourself in and take the risk of reconnecting back to the people around you, even if, yes, there's an element of truth to the fact that you may be quite unique in comparison, or unique in the sense that you are different from them. I mean, everyone is unique, of course. That's not the point. The point is that there might be a real true element to the fact that you just really have a hard time relating to other people and that other people don't really get you. However, that doesn't mean that you can't try to connect to them on some level, because we really do have something in common with everyone. I am 100% convinced of that. It just you have to kind of temper this more rebellious energy and allow those connections to happen. There's another thing here with this by the book and the Black Moon Lilith thing and rebelling and whatever. There's like a twofold message. On the one hand, tradition is good, and sometimes just rebelling for rebellion's sake is not great. It just creates more problems and unnecessary arguments and strife. So I feel this is a kind of a pick your battle situation, because sometimes, you know, we do want to break free of certain traditions. Certain traditions aren't serving us anymore. We want to uplift society and ourselves and the people around us from the chains that they have created for themselves, the cages that they have put themselves in. So this is like a twofold thing. I feel like this is a more complicated message here in group 3. But I feel like there's still connection to be had. Sorry, I need to take a step back here and just think again. My mind's sort of going 1,000 miles an hour now. Yeah, I'm looking at these guys and they're like talking happy. Like this is a different, there's balance here. We've got 2 wands on this side and 2 wands on that side. And yeah, there's a heart here, there's love here, as opposed to, you know, potential strife on this side. So I feel like there's the potential for both. You just have to remain balanced about it. And yeah, part of what is going to free you from this dark Pluto energy is to think more positive thoughts, to try to connect to more to higher vibrational thinking, which again is very difficult. Trust me, I'm the worst at this. Yeah, there's something else I was gonna say. Oh yeah, look, I'm seeing 6 and 5 is 11, which you could be a life path 11 potentially, which is for sure a life path that is separate from everyone else. We also have an 11 here. So again, I feel like the message is twofold. On the one hand, yes, it is part of your path and your destiny to be other, to break away from the mold, to be nonconformist, to show people a different way. However, we do still live in the world, and there are certain things, there are just certain ways that certain things are done, and you can't just change that overnight. So you kind of have to play along. You do kind of have to do things by the book to a certain extent. You have to find the balance in this situation here, and you have to learn to pick your battles. Is there anything else that I'm thinking here? Yeah, I mean, maybe at the moment, if there's a current energy going on, maybe, yeah, this is happening right now. Like, you are in a situation where there are some arguments and disagreements, or there's a certain mental challenge at the moment for you that involves another person. Perhaps this is you. This could be a Gemini. This is a very Gemini card for me. But air signs are all Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, right? So that could be you, or that could be people in your environment. We could also have someone with a prominent Lilith. Again, you or someone else. 4 of Wands relates to Venus in Aries. So again, this could be someone with a lot of Aryan qualities or Venusian qualities. Either way, a very bubbly, excitable, impulsive, like happy, energetic kind of a person as well. So, but that's just, you know, background trivia, which may or may not help you. But anyway, I feel like I should wrap it up with this pile. I might get a little bit lost in other things, and I'm just going to start to repeat myself. I hope that it resonated with you and that you at least got something out of it. I feel like the message for this pile wasn't as concise as the other piles. Maybe because I connected to this pile the most, and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's just, yeah, don't underestimate the shadow work that Lilith brings. It's tough, and give yourself a break here. Like, yeah, it does bring this energy of discord sometimes, and feeling isolated and rebellious and needing to fight back. But I feel like there is joy to be had in this situation, and it will uplift you. I do think that connecting to the people around you more, if you allow them to enter back in, will uplift you as well out of this darkness. Like, it is shadow work and it's personal, and it's something that only you can do. However, it is something that you can do with the support of other people as well, I think. I think that's the final message that I have here. So, like I said, I hope that helped. Please comment either in the Facebook post or on YouTube. It doesn't matter. Like if you want to. It's an unlisted video, so no one will see it, except the ones that have the link. Feel free to share if you want to with anyone who might be interested. This is just me practicing and trying to connect to my intuition as well and connect to you guys and just give something back. So yeah, I hope that it resonated, and I might be in touch again later. Bye!